Startup naming strategies for memorable and meaningful naming. Hello, today I'd like to talk about naming, a truly important and exciting step in the journey of starting a startup. A startup's name is more than just a label, it's the face and soul of our brand. It possesses a powerful ability to make customers remember us from the first encounter. Talk about us and return. Therefore, choosing a good name is an essential process for increasing the likelihood of business success. So, why is naming so crucial? The name is the first message that introduces our brand to the world. It needs to be easily imprinted in people's minds, and clearly or appealingly suggest what value we offer and what vision we hold. In an era overflowing with information and brands, it's difficult to capture customer attention with a name that's hard to remember or too common. A good name is the foundation that makes us stand out among competitors, generates word of mouth, and maximizes the effectiveness of marketing activities. What kind of name, then, is a good name? There are several core principles. First, it should be easy to remember. It should be easy to pronounce and not have complicated spelling, making it simple for people to recall and share with others. Second, it's beneficial if the meaning is clear or evokes positive associations. If the name alone gives a hint about what our brand does, or evokes a good feeling, that's ideal. Third, it must be unique and distinctive. Names that are already in use, or could be confused with competitors, should be avoided. Having our own uniqueness is important. Fourth, consider scalability. A name that isn't too limited to the current business area, and won't feel awkward if the business expands or new product services are added in the future, is advantageous in the long run. Finally, and most practically important, is availability. We must absolutely check if the name we want is already in use elsewhere, especially if domain names, com, co, kr, etc., and major social media account names are available, and most importantly, if trademark registration is possible. Trademark issues can lead to significant legal disputes later, so a thorough verification process with an expert is essential. There are various strategies and types of naming methods. It's important to choose the approach that best fits the characteristics and goals of our startup. For example, there are descriptive names that directly explain the business. Names like Korean Air or Kookman Bank have the advantage of immediately conveying what the business is about, but they can lack originality and face limitations in trademark acquisition or business expansion. On the other hand, there are suggestive names that indirectly hint at the business's characteristics or value. Names like Netflix, which suggests watching movies over the internet, or Coupang, which evokes speed, fall into this category. They have the advantage of suggesting the business content, while maintaining originality. There are also invented abstract names that create entirely new words, or are completely unrelated to existing words. Google, Kodak, and Zara are prime examples. These names have the strong advantage of being highly original, easy to trademark, and allowing for free construction of the brand image. However, a disadvantage is that the name itself doesn't convey anything about the business, requiring significant effort in branding. There are also experiential names that express the value or feeling customers will experience. Just as Amazon suggests a vast variety of goods, or Spotify evokes the experience of listening to music, these names are emotional and easy to remember. Besides these, there are various approaches like using the founder's name or using acronyms of long company names. Depending on your startup's vision and the image you want to build, you can combine these types appropriately or focus on exploring one method intensively. Naming doesn't end with simply brainstorming ideas. Following a more systematic process helps achieve better results. The first step is to clearly define our brand identity. We need to deeply consider what we offer, who our target audience is, and what core values we hold. This identity will serve as a compass guiding the naming direction. Next is the brainstorming phase, where we derive core keywords based on the defined identity, and freely generate various name candidates by combining these keywords or exploring words from related fields, even words from other languages. Using tools like AI name generators can also help in getting diverse ideas. From the list of name candidates generated, we go through a filtering process to narrow down the options, based on the principles of a good name discussed earlier. Names that are difficult to pronounce, have negative connotations, or are too common are excluded. Once the final candidates are selected, it is absolutely essential to thoroughly check their availability. This includes securing domain names and social media accounts, and most importantly, confirming the possibility of trademark registration by consulting with an expert. This step should never be neglected. Finally, it's beneficial to share the final candidate names with people around you and potential customers to gather feedback. Getting objective opinions on how others feel about the name, whether it's easy to remember and easy to pronounce, is very helpful. Based on this feedback and the availability check results, the final name is decided. It's also good to keep in mind a few pitfalls to avoid when naming. Names that are too common or generic are difficult to differentiate and hard to remember. Names that are too long or complex are difficult to pronounce and recall. Names that unintentionally carry negative meanings or associations can be detrimental to the brand image, so be cautious. Names that are too limited to a specific region or product can hinder future business expansion, so consider the long-term perspective. And again, I emphasize that you must absolutely avoid names that could potentially infringe on the trademarks of other brands. Legal issues can severely impact the entire business. In conclusion, naming a startup is not just about finding a cool word. It's a highly strategic and important process that involves clearly defining our brand identity, conveying the right message to customers, and considering future growth potential. By investing sufficient time and effort in reviewing from various perspectives, you will surely find a memorable and meaningful name that is perfect for your startup. I sincerely hope that the naming strategies and step-by-step process discussed today will help your startup find a wonderful name that is remembered by many people and conveys positive energy, just like a startup power plant. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask again. I support your successful naming journey.